But first, the job market is experiencing quite a bit of turbulence with all of the shakeups within the federal government.
So what do you do if you find yourself in the midst of needing to or wanting to make a career change? Here to give us some tips is talent development and career coach Elena Agaragimova. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these federal layoffs are happening. What should someone do if they have found themselves impacted by that?
First, just acknowledging that it is a loss and taking that time to process and grieve in a way that you need to. For many people, it's not just a job loss, it's whole careers, it's their whole lives. It's something that their values are tuned into, their purpose, and that's a way to give back to others for them. So I think just acknowledging and taking that time to process is important, but then shifting the focus to things that you can control. And some of the things that we can control in that situation is just, what are you exposing yourself to in terms of networks, in terms of people you're around? Can you upskill, reskill yourself? Can you start, exploring what might be next for you?
Yeah. How do you prepare? If you're thinking I might be leaving my job or losing my job soon, what do you do to prepare for that?
The most important step that I recommend people to take is to learn how to tell your career story. So learning how to tell your career story, because a lot of times we've been in certain jobs for X number of years. We probably haven't told our story. We now have to change it a little bit and make it applicable to this new industry, potentially new job role. And at the same time, you probably have an interview, so a little bit out of practice. And there's three things you can do there. One is just writing down all the accomplishments that you've done in the past, even going back as far as university studies, just to refresh your memory and reflect, what have you brought to the table? What values, not just jobs and roles, what values and skills and knowledge that you've gained over these many years of work. The second is then looking at those transferable skills, right? So a lot of the skills, like for a lot of federal workers, is project management, right? Change management, leadership. These things are all very much applicable to just about any job role out there. So it's around where can you recognize those skills and position them in this new market. And finally, don't discredit the skills that you have. A lot of people think because it comes easy for me and it's natural, it must not be important, it must not add value, and that is not correct. Just because it comes easy to you does not mean it's not valuable. It's just you're good at that, and not a lot of people are. Only you bring this unique combination of things.
This reminds me, we were trying to work on an Excel spreadsheet the other day, and I was the only one who knew any. I was like, I didn't know that was a skill I had.
Yes,
It's
and
a skill.
Yes.
You could never have me open an Excel sheet.
I know. That's why it's good to work in a team, because someone has that skill. But it's great to hear that you're saying those skills are applicable to outside of the federal government. That's good for people to know. Now, you talk about a network. What if someone finds themselves either not having a decent network, or all of their network is within a certain space or industry? How do they beef that up?
Yeah, so there's probably a couple of things you're missing out on. One, like networks that are right in front of you, and those you can look at. Alumni networks, we often miss those because those actually warm connections. Alumni from different universities are usually really helpful. So reaching out to people on LinkedIn, maybe through friends, family, and so on. Community groups that you're part of, gym communities, etc. I think that's another big one. If you're like, listen, I don't have that, or maybe you exhausted those options, then looking at areas that you want to get into, and then spending some time understanding where does that crowd hang out. Is it events? Is it online, engagements and so on? And if you're a person and you're like, listen, I don't do big crowds, I'm not great at networking, finding opportunities to have these one-on-one connections. Again, LinkedIn is a great place, so find what works for you, but starting with those warm connections is probably where I would start.
Elaine keeps telling me to get on LinkedIn.
Yes, you need to be visible on there.
Need to post your resume there. That's a way
it's
to
like your
get
profile,
started.
it's your brand. It's essentially your personal brand.
That would be a good
It's like
place to
Instagram
start.
for work. Everything work related. Put it on there.
Yeah,
and connect
absolutely.
with people.
We can start there.
These
Thank
are
you
good
very
tips.
much. Yes, for all of your tips today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You can get in touch with Elena for more tips, and you can find her on LinkedIn, and you can connect with her at Elena Agaragimova. Thank you again.